4, which is 2. So this is going to be 3 times 2. All right, I know that 3 times 2 is going to get me 6. So I have negative 2 plus 6 equals 4, and I know that 6 minus 2 is 4. So this is a correct solution. All right, keep going. This one right here. This one looks different. I got an X on both sides. All right, so when I have an X on both sides, that's not good. I need an X on one side, right? Because I'm solving for X. I'm not solving for 2 different X's. So I have to get rid of this square root. So I'm going to square both sides like normal. All right, the square and the square root cancel. And I will get X squared equals this whole thing under the radical. I get 2x plus 24. All right, now I have to get everything over to the other side. I want just a 0 over here. All right, so I'm going to subtract 2x on both sides. I'm going to subtract 24 on both sides. Okay, now I'm going to write this in descending order. X squared comes first. Then I got my minus 2x minus 24 equals 0. Now, this is when you got to ask yourself, how did we solve these in chapter 7? I find factors of negative 24 that are going to add up to negative 2. And let's see, we got negative 6 and positive 4. So I'm going to break up my 2 bubbles. X minus 6, x plus 4 equals 0. All right. So I know that this is one factor, so one of my solutions is going to be x equals positive 6. And if this is my other factor, my other solution is going to be x equals negative 4. I just flip my signs. All right. Now, let's check if both of these are true. All right. If I plug 6 into the equation, right, I have 6 equals the square root of 2 times 6 plus 24. So I get 6 equals the square root of 12 plus 24. All right. And I get 6 equals the square root of 36. And yep, 6 equals 6 because the square root of 36 is 6. So this one's good. I have to check the other solution. So I'm going to do the same exact thing, but this time with negative 4. All right, negative 4 equals the square root of 2 times negative 4 plus 24. Negative 4 equals, okay, well, 2 times negative 4 is going to get me negative 8. And negative 8 plus 24, this is going to get me 16. All right, now, I told you that the square root of 16 is plus or minus any number, right? Plus or minus. But the most common one that we see is going to be that positive 4. And I know positive 4 does not equal negative 4. So this did not check out. That means over here, negative 4 is not a solution. All right. I didn't think we were going to get it to this problem until the 4th example, but this is what this word means. It means that sometimes when we're solving problems, an extra solution comes about. Oh, sorry for the blurriness. I'm doing this on my phone. And when we get that extra solution, we have to make sure that we check it, so we cross it out. We can't have that be part of our answer. All right, so we've already done one that has an extra solution. Let's do one more that has an extra one. All right, now this one. When I square root this side and I go to square root this side, I have to put parentheses around that whole left side, okay? If you don't put parentheses around the whole left side, then this is gonna mess us up a little bit. All right, now, I know that x minus 3 times x minus 3 is what x squared means. So I'm going to do this little thing that we did last chapter, a couple chapters ago, and we are going to distribute our double distribution problem. X times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. Negative 3 times x gets me negative 3x again. And negative 3 times negative 3 is going to be positive 9. So this gives me x squared minus 6x plus 9. All right. And this whole thing is what I know this is equal to. So I have x squared minus 6x plus 9 equals whatever's under the radical. So my x minus 1. All right, now we're back to over here where we had to get it all on one side. Oh, no, where do we have that? I don't know. Okay, I'm going to subtract x on both sides. That cancels out. I'm going to add 1 on both sides. And that cancels out. All right, so I'm going to rewrite what I have. I have x squared minus 7x plus 10, and that equals 0. Factors of 10 that add to negative 7. I'm going to let you think about that. Say it before I say it. That was a pause for dramatic effect. All right. What solutions did we come up with? Well, we should have negative 5 and negative 2 because I got a positive solution here and a negative sum. So we got x minus 5. Hi, Mrs. Lynch. How are you? Oh, Leach. Oh, my goodness. And you guys all just said hi to Mrs. Lynch. All right, so now I have my factors and my solutions have to be the opposite numbers. So I get 5 and I get positive 2. All right, because I already showed you over here that one's not gonna work, I am not gonna show you here for time's sake. So go ahead and just check these two numbers. I'm pretty sure one of them works, but not the other one. All right. Go ahead and flip the page. All right, notice that it says ACT at the top. I am giving you 3 ACT problems that have to do with radicals. All right, now, sometimes the ACT format is kind of scary. All right, we got this wording going on that we don't really know. We haven't really seen stuff that looks like that before. Or we got like a word problem, also not super fun. Okay, but these problems are not that tricky. If I have x equals 81b squared, and this b greater than 0. Okay, that's not super important right now. Some problems it is, okay? Then I'm trying to find the square root of x. I'm gonna rewrite what I was given. I was given x equals 81b squared. All right, and I'm trying to solve for the square root of x. Okay, well, to get the square root of x, I'm going to square root the x I was given, but what you do to one side, you must do to the other. I hope you did that with me. All right, I'm square at the other side. Okay, still solving for this, so whatever this gives me will be my answer, but obviously that is not one of my multiple choice answers. I am going to break up my radical. The 81 gets it, and the square root b squared gets it, all right? So let's keep simplifying. If I take the square root of 81, I get 9, and the square root of b squared is going to be b, all right? So I see that 9b is the second choice, and so I'm going to circle b for my answer. All right, this one. It says Haley wants to put up a fence. She has a square backyard. Okay, I'm gonna draw the square backyard. Might not be as good as that, but try your best. All right, and here's Haley. Super happy. All right, the area is 160 square feet. So I know that area equals 160 square feet. It says the formula for the area of a square is area equals s squared, where s is the side length, right? I'm going to take side length times side length, and that's how I get my area. All right. Now it's saying, what is that side length? And these are my options. Notice I got radicals. They are simplified. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take what area equals. See, a equals 160, and I'm going to plug that in for a. All right. So I get 160 equals s squared. And I don't want the side squared. I want to know the side individually. So I'm going to take the square root of both sides. the square and the square root cancel, and I get the square root of 160 equals S. Okay, still not an option, but I know that 16 is a perfect square, so I'm going to break this up to the square root of 16 and the square root of another number. 16 times 10 gets me 160. All right, since 16 is a perfect square, I'm going to write this as a regular 4 root 10. All right, and I see that 4 root 10 is answer C, and so I would circle that. All right, this last one is a little bit tricky, okay? But you're still gonna be you're gonna need to know how to do this, all right? If I am looking for the area of a rectangle, the area equation is length times width, all right? This right here is my length, and this expression over here is my width. All right, so if I plug this whole thing in for L and this whole thing in for W, I get this goofy looking thing that is 4 square root 5 minus 2 square root 3. Okay, I put that whole thing over here in parentheses for the L spot. Okay, and then I'm going to take the W and I'm going to do the same thing, put it in parentheses. So 3 square root 6 minus square root 10. All right, and now I'm going to FOIL. Okay, I'm going to do my double distribution problem. All right, you've never done something like this, so stick with me. I'm going to do 4 times 3, which is 12. Square root 5 times square root 6, which is square root 30. All right, then I do the outer two. I'm going to do 4 times, okay, this has an imaginary -1, so I got -4. And 5 times 10 is going to get me that root 50. All right, now we got to do the inner two. These ones right here. -2 times 3 is -6. 3 and 6 is going to get me square root 18. And I'm going to do the last ones, okay? So -2 times that imaginary -1 is going to get me +2. And square root 3 times square root 10 is going to get me square root 30. All right. I see that this one and this one both have a square root 30. That's a good thing. I'm going to take my 12 and my 2 and I'm going to add them. All right, 14 square root 30. Okay, these ones do not have like terms, so I'm going to just go ahead and start simplifying them. The square root of 50, I'm going to break that up into the square root of 25 and the square root of 2. All right, square root of 18, I'm going to break that up into square root 9 and square root 2. All right, square root 25, I know that this is going to become a regular 5, and I know that this square root 9 is going to become a regular 3. So I'm going to rewrite my problem. I got 14 square root 30. All right, and I'm going to multiply my 4 times my 5, I'm going to get a -20 root 2. I'm going to multiply my -6 times my 3, and I'm going to get a -18 root 2. And I notice that I can add these two because they both have a square root 2 in common. So my final answer will be 14 square root 30. And then I got -20 and -18, which combines to -38 square root 2. And this whole expression is my answer. All right. That was a big multi-step example. These three might show up on your test, so make sure you understand them. If you're not sure, come talk to me about these. All right, especially the front side also. As a recap, you need to be able to simplify radicals. You need to be able to multiply radicals, add, subtract, and then solve your radical equations. Be prepared for a short, easy quiz if you are able to do these main skills. All right, if you get stuck, make sure that you come and see me before the next Black Day. Also, I got these three down here. Okay, notice I said that we're going to talk about these at the start of next class, but you can go ahead and see if you can solve them in advance. You got a hard one going on over here. You got an easy one in the middle, and this is easy because, this one's easy because it's very similar to this one. You would use that same step. Okay, and this last one is a medium because 6 is not a common number. All right, sorry for the shakiness. Held it with my left hand and wrote with my right. So first time for everything. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and give me a like. All right, have a great test day. Homework day. We'll see you next week. Bye.